Hey there everyone, this is Seb with another kind of vlog thingy I guess, but actually more of a response video to be honest. I wanted to do more of these but it just didn't happen yet. I'm sorry. By the time I put on the camera and stuff I usually already kind of beat. But yeah, something that I saw and I just got kind of interested in just doing it is that you know how we used to have these response videos going back and forth, and YouTube has kind of totally destroyed that whole mechanic. But what's great to me is to see that still some people are just keeping this tradition up regardless, and that's just really awesome. And I figured, I want to take part in that as well again, and I saw an interesting video from Ginger Hippy Gaming. He is a smaller up-and-coming channel, really looks great, does a lot of specky stuff, but also what's dear to my heart, a lot of a Philips, of course, video puck, or as it's known in the US, Magnavox Odyssey 2. That's the system I grew up with, so it's always great to see other people give that system some attention. It's a system I've wanted to cover for a while as well. It's kind of a pain to capture, so I never got to it. But it's one that I want to cover, and I'm probably going to do that through the power of the Mister as well, because that is just so convenient nowadays. But anyway, it's not about the video pack or the Odyssey. By the way, first of all, before I get into it, I'm sorry if you hear some smacking. It is Sunday, it is cleaning day. What you gonna do? You missed a spot over here. Anyway, so the question that was proposed is, how would you feel if overnight your collection, and it doesn't really matter what kind of collection it is, but I'm just, for simplicity, I'm just going to assume a gaming collection, because that's probably what most of us have. So how did you feel if this collection became worth absolutely nothing? Zilch, zero, nada, it became worth nothing. Overnight, all of a sudden, what would you do? How would you feel? If you got into collection as a way of, setting aside something for a rainy day, I can imagine that would kind of feel shitty. But if you feel like, you're just playing a game now and then and you barely look at it, maybe it doesn't mean anything for you. First of all, let's just assume this would happen, but in actuality, if this would really to happen, where all of your games become zero, no value at all, I think if such a situation would come to pass, the state of our collection would be the worst, the least of our issues, because that would mean probably bigger problems are afoot, where basically the whole economy crashes. Like, we're never going to get to a point where we have a functional economy where Panzer Dragoon Saga is worth zero. That's just never gonna happen, unfortunately. And that's kind of the hint where I stand in this. I gave it some thought, and I really got to stick with my initial kind of reaction that I would actually really welcome it. To be honest, I know it's going to piss a lot of people off, because I know that a lot of people do collect for different reasons, and quite a few of them, even those who do play the game just to have fun with them, many of those do collect to have also something for a rainy day, which is totally understandable. And then of course you got the hardcore, not so hardcore, actual collectors who encase their games in these big plastic boxes, never to be played again, but they go up in value. I don't understand that, but I'll get into that in just a bit. But that's kind of annoying to me. But yeah, those guys would be pissed, I guess. But for me it's kind of twofold. First of all, when I started collecting in the early 2000s, I never really, I really got games that I wanted to have because I enjoyed them. So it never started as a thing that I thought would make money, even though back then, you know, even in 2005, like Panzer Dragoon Saga, you weren't getting that for $10. That's for sure. It's also a game I don't have, and I totally agree with Ginger Hippy Gaming that game collecting has become such a rich man's hobby, and that's unfortunate because such games, they just become inaccessible if you want the real thing, and that's a shame. I don't think I will ever have Panzer Dragoon Saga on my shelves, which is a shame. I can still play it. Of course, there are ways around that locally, which I never did, by the way, but I should get to that sometime because it does look interesting. But yeah, I find that a shame. Also, it really keeps new people out of the retro scene as well. Like there's a lot of young folk that might have some interest in this scene, but it's inaccessible. It's becoming way too ridiculous, and I've been out of the loop for a couple of years, and if I do look at some of those prices, I'm absolutely shocked to see what some things are selling for. Like we've always had like these sellers who will tell you what they saw on eBay, and you know, but it's not actually being sold for that much. But now, yeah, those prices, they are crazy, even for games that are not rare at all. However, another aspect for me that just makes me go like, whatever, just dump the price, I don't care, is because I don't really have a good idea of what the actual value of all of my stuff is. Now I do need to say that I do need to downsize, because most of my stuff is in storage with my parents, and I just do not have the space in this house here to have it all. So I do need to go through that, catalog it all, and just get rid of some things. So, you know, preferably if the thing is going to crash, then preferably after I did that. But that's the thing, I don't see myself actually doing that. You know, it's one of those goals where you go, yeah, I should do that. But historically speaking, I've always been really terrible in actually getting rid of my excess games, like my doubles and such. I'm just a terrible seller. Yeah, and it's not like I don't want to do it or anything. It's just it's not the part of the hobby that interests me. So, you know, and even though I'm kind of forced to now, I still, you know, don't really see myself actually doing it's that bad. I've also always had this impression, you know, if I get rid of a game, I would love to actually trade it, and or at least, you know, I would rather give away a game and know that it goes to someone who's actually going to enjoy it and respect it for what it is, than actually sell it for maybe a higher price and potentially to a reseller. But yeah, all that just accumulates into me basically hoarding more than I should. And I never really think about selling. I probably should, but it just never gets to that point, and it's kind of annoying. Now I do intend to sell some things off, but again, it's intentions, and will it actually ever happen? I don't know. And as I have no idea what the actual value of my collection is even at, you know, it's nothing lost if it doesn't have any value anymore at all, because I'm not counting on it having any value now, because I just don't know what it is. Something else that I think when we speak more generally about value of games, I just find this concept of this value thing, I think it is such an awful investment strategy to go into retro games and invest in retro games with the idea to grow your money, if that makes sense. I'm no financial expert or anything, but to me it's ludicrous. Like, there is something for certain to be said that gaming is a form of art, but are we really going to compare a Super Mario Bros. Cartridge, which had millions made, with a one and only Picasso, like, it just makes no sense to me. And of course there are some games that are rarer, and then you get question demand, and that's not the phrase, but you know what I mean. Sometimes my brain goes a bit and yeah, whatever. Yeah, it just makes no sense to me that you would invest into a retro game with the intention of growing your money. It's not art in that sense, to me at least, because also you gotta, or for example, real estate, a house. If you buy a house, chances are in 100 years the house still exists. In 100 years, probably that NES card will have some damage. Yeah, they are sturdy, but will they survive a whole century? I don't know. We'll see. And yeah, of course that's why they lock them up, but you know, they lock them up with the air inside, so I wouldn't hold my breath on those things. I don't know, it just, that grading stuff seemed like a very shady scheme to me, but oh well. Some people better suited than I am have made perfectly fine documentary videos on that, which I do highly recommend. Anyway, that's basically how I stand it. If my gaming collection would drop to zero overnight, I probably wouldn't even notice, because I don't know what it's worth now anyway, and I don't care. I would welcome it, because I would really welcome just being able to go out there and actually buy a game again that I like. And because let's be honest, are you really? I'm not going out there and spend $100 for a game that's 30 years old. I'm sorry, but then I'm out. I'm like, nope. A game needs to be really good if I even want to consider spending $60 on one nowadays, a new game, because you know, for some reason nowadays it's common practice to only deliver half a game on the release date. But let's not open that can of worms. That's for another vlog thingy maybe. But yeah, I'm not going to spend that much for a game that's 100 years old. Well, no, it's the other way around. 30 years old, $100. There we go. So that's where I stand. I would love to hear from you guys. What do you think? How would you feel if the value of your collection drops to $0, like overnight? You've got all your games, but it's worth $0 or euros. How would you feel? What would you do? Would you actually play them still? Or maybe with more joy? I mean, I can imagine if you put them in all those plastic boxes, now would be a great time to break them out. Actually enjoy those games. And yeah, if you do want to make a reaction video like this as well, yeah, I would love to see that. Of course, you can also send in a comment down below, but also do drop a comment and a video, or at least a link to your video in the comments from Ginger Hippy Gaming, and you know, let him give him a subscribe as well if you enjoy his content. I kind of like it this far from what I've seen. So yeah, looking forward to more of his works as well. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this little view. The cleaning seems to have stopped, although he did miss the spot here. Oh man, he's gonna be cranky all night now. Anyway guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one. Let me know in the comments down below. And join me next time for another video. And we'll see what we'll cover then. Until then, take care. Bye bye for now. De mazzel.